For real though, Annabelle was only like the 5th creepiest doll in this lady's collection.
Who are you?
So, the prequel to The Conjuring that came before the prequel to the prequel, and then the sequel to the prequel. I mean, seriously, the Annabelle franchise is cursed in more ways than one. And the biggest problem of all is that they broke the golden child's play rule. Yes, you need to have the doll chasing children, or it's just not as scary. Just, come on. Annabelle stars Annabelle Wallis, and I've not seen her in much else, and I don't think she's very good in this, so it's hard to feel as if they didn't cast her because her actual name is Annabelle. Anyway, she's a 1950s housewife obsessed with collecting dolls, so honestly I kind of feel like she deserved this, yeah. Anyway, cult members break into her house, and then one of them dies while holding this doll, and she goes, well, of course, get rid of it, and then 5 minutes later she changes her mind and says, no, let's keep it. And then she puts it in her baby's bedroom as like a centerpiece in the middle of the collection in there. The doll held by the murderous freak as she died. So, not good. No sir, no way. However, a decade later, I still can't really argue with the opening scene. That whole sequence where they break into the house where these people aren't even locking their doors because they feel so safe at night. Oh, I've never seen a couple ask for more bad things to happen to them in a horror film, but seriously, that whole opening sequence with the cult members, freaky as hell, still had that sense of realism that The Conjuring had. At that point, you could have convinced me, first time watching it at least, that this was going to work out. But then it just doesn't, does it? No, from there, it just kind of falls apart a little bit. I mean, the husband not believing her thing doesn't actually last that long, which I've got to give them some credit for. But just them as a couple, both characters, and the couple of side characters they vaguely introduce for little bits of the film, they're just all so unbelievably boring. The logic of the whole demon stuff in this is pretty much that a soul must be willingly given. Like, the demon isn't strong enough to just take a soul on its own, or to possess somebody on its own. But absolutely bodying a priest one step outside of his church, no problem. Are you fucking kidding me? It's atrocious level writing, it really is. I don't know what's more surprising, that the first film in a trilogy is by far the worst. How often does that happen, if ever? Or that the second film in what is now a 10-film long franchise in The Conjuring is pretty much as bad as it gets. Both those things feel quite crazy to me. The Conjuring hype train was so hard in 2014 that they managed to bring this out. Everyone went, oh my god. And then they managed to get 2 more films out of Annabelle. That is nutty to me. And it did get better from here, but even Creation, as good as it was, had troubles like tying up all the loose ends from this because this was such a mess. And it really is frustrating because it feels like they took notes about keeping things realistic from The Conjuring and then just dumped that after 20 minutes and went, nah, now a demon can just take a baby, just make it vanish completely, utterly from your world and say, nah, you're not getting it back unless one of you kills yourselves. What? Then why wouldn't they always do that? The amusement of trying to play it off like it wasn't always insane how much baby boomers were into dolls is pretty funny to me. But this film is one of the best examples for real of why the supernatural horror genre has been dying off, because 10 years later, looking back at this, they fell into so many traps with like just basic level plot writing that AI could have written this now, which is very depressing. It doesn't deserve much appreciation for that pretty strong opening sequence because it just falls apart so hard as it goes on. And the ending feels so brutally undeserved because they did nothing to flesh out Evelyn's character. She is literally just the black woman who's there to save the white folks. And it's Alfred Woodard playing her, who's amazing. So it's just absolutely blowing the entire idea that there could have been something a lot stronger there, and the film could have just filled out her character more instead of being so incredibly boring, even though it has a pretty average length runtime. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I'm giving Doll, There a Girl Inside You 1.5 stars. It's so hard to imagine a franchise not just bouncing back, but releasing like 8 more entries after one that was this bad. Stunning. And the fact that they actually got to go and make another Annabelle one 2 years after this.